My name is Agnes and I am a senior here at Assumption High School. Raindrops on roses, whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles, and warm woolen mittens. This song is a favorite in my family, and each time I hear it, I'm reminded of the big impact that small acts can create, and how grateful I am to have the support around me that allows me to grow. When my grandmother was 17 years old, she moved from rural Uniontown in western Kentucky to what was considered the big city of Louisville. She had almost no connections here, but the parish of Holy Spirit allowed her to attend college at Ursuline. She leaned on the support of the Ursuline nuns, who tutored her and made it possible for her to pursue her education while caring for her 5 kids, with one on the way. They slipped metaphorical warm woolen mittens onto her hands so that she could grow into a strong woman with control over her own life. After she got her degree, she gave back to her community by becoming a middle school teacher. Now, almost any time we go out, someone approaches us and reminds my grandmother that she taught them in the 7th grade. They often say things like, "You were my favorite teacher. I learned so much in your class," or even more than once, "You saved my life." I didn't know it at the time, but ever since I was a kindergartner, people were slipping warm woolen mittens over my fingers and ensuring that I had the opportunities provided by a good education. Both of my parents work full-time jobs. My dad is a sculptor and my mom as a teacher, but it is not enough to afford Catholic schools. I am extremely grateful for your generosity, as it has allowed me to grow into an individual who aims to view the world from a lens that both focuses on the positive and aims to improve it. I came into Assumption as an inquisitive person who enjoyed school. However, I hadn't taken initiative in my own education. As a freshman, Ms. Conway asked me to lead a study group for my English class before our final exam. But to be completely honest, I failed. I didn't invite my classmates to work together or bring up topics that would be helpful to discuss. However, Ms. Conway didn't give up on me. She trusted me to continue being a peer tutor and a leader. Her faith gave me the confidence to take a stand for my education. During my junior year, my classmates and I went to the administration to ask them to create a more advanced calculus class. I have never been someone to challenge the world around me, and usually find myself accepting whatever's in front of me. However, Assumption has taught me that in every community, even one that I love, there is always room to grow, and I have the power to make that change. I have and continue to challenge myself by taking advanced DC and AP classes, but one of my favorite things is that Assumption administration listened to our concerns and created a new class, so that we could continue challenging ourselves. Now, sometimes I regret this because there is probably steam coming out of my ears as I try to understand calculus in 3 dimensions. But I know that the steaming copper kettle that my brain is turning into highlights the quality of education that I have received, both as a student and as a member of society. My entire family has had the privilege to attend Catholic schools, but I didn't really understand its value until I got to Assumption. I had basic church teachings, but I was missing the important step of action. During my sophomore acts, I got to volunteer at Miners Lane Elementary. I remember creating bags of food that students of lower income could take home, and seeing the trailer park that many of them lived in. I bonded with those kids and enjoyed working with them, because it was an attempt to provide the education that I am so grateful for. Talking about this experience in my religion class allowed me to discover that a big part of my personal faith involves serving the people around me. From this experience, I learned to mimic kittens' whiskers and be aware of what's happening around me so that I can try to provide for others and be more Christ-like. Recently, I went on senior retreat, and while I can't disclose the highly classified details, I will say that it lives up to the hype. One of my classmates said that it should be renamed the Eat and Cry Retreat, and she's probably right. I think I cried every single day more than once, but most of them were happy tears. Retreat offered me the chance to reflect on who I am and how much love is around me. We shared our hardest moments to 50 other people because we knew that they were part of Assumption, and Assumption would not let us fall. The theme of senior retreat was the rose, and just like raindrops on petals are one of Julie Andrews' favorite things, retreat helped our tear-stricken faces bloom into flowers that are ready to tackle any challenges ahead of us, because we have our faith-based education at our backs and our Assumption sisters at our sides. My grandmother always tells me the story of how her mother took her aside and told her, "You are smart, so use your gift well, because you didn't do anything to deserve it." Throughout the past 3.5 years, I have had countless opportunities, and I have tried to make the most out of each one, from speech and debate to soccer to a DC mission trip. These opportunities have allowed me to grow, but I would not be where I am today without your support. Everybody deserves to find their favorite things, and only through your generosity is Assumption High School able to artfully create a space where young women from many different backgrounds can learn about themselves, learn about the world, and learn about how they can make a difference. Countless families like mine struggle to be able to afford Catholic education, but when given the opportunity, they will rise to the challenge and leave a lasting legacy. Through your warm woolen mittens, we have the support to learn and then give back to our community. When the dog barks, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling down, I simply remember the joy at Assumption that I have found. One of my very favorite things.